You're listening to the So Good It Doesn't Make Sense podcast, a podcast for women navigating divorce who want more. More clarity, more money, more peace, more power. I'm Megan Norris, divorce expert, coach, and the friend who's going to tell you the truth. Not just about what's happening right now, but about what's possible for you next. This podcast is about making decisions you trust, building a life you actually want, and becoming the version of you that no one saw coming. Whether you're in it, ending it, or already out, you're in the right place. You're about to become the CEO of your life and create one so good it doesn't make sense. Let's get started. Oh, hi. Welcome back to this week's episode of the podcast. We're already on episode 10. Can you believe it? Oh, I love it. I cannot wait to say episode 500. What? It'll be here before we know it. If you're watching on YouTube, you will see behind me, Sadie, the golden doodle, is in her depressed dog position on my bed that she assumes every time that all the children leave the home. And she just has to feel her feelings because she doesn't love being here with just me and out of our school routine. But we are well within the throes of summer at the time of me recording this. And the summer initiation has arrived. Maybe we're moving through it. It's an intense change of pace. It's not less busy. It's just different busy. I'm not driving around like a maniac all over the city, but I do have 3 kids with me home most days. And that is its own expansive challenge, shall we say. Guess what I Googled this morning? And I want to talk about this today. I Googled the size of the divorce industry. I was curious, how much money every year does the divorce industry make? How much people do, how much money is spent on and made in the divorce space? And the estimates range anywhere from $50 billion to upwards of $200 billion. Okay, billions of dollars every year go into helping people get divorced. Okay, so this is important because the industry in and of itself is profitable. It's profitable for you to get divorced. It's profitable for your divorce to be complicated. It's profitable for your divorce to take longer. Now, I'm not saying that anyone's intentionally extending or making the process harder, but I do think our human nature is to overcomplicate things. And when there is a profit-driven component to it, just like the wellness industry, which I believe is in the trillions of dollars in terms of its, economic size, that we need to look at what exactly is going on and what do we want to choose to believe about it and what could we perhaps leave behind that isn't serving us. Okay. Because why does this even matter to you? Whether you're listening to this considering divorce, or you're in the middle of your divorce process, or maybe you're already divorced and you just want to make a ton of money in your own name, which I want that for you. It matters because the way we talk about divorce, the way we think about divorce, the way we approach the post-divorce transition tends to be geared towards overcomplicated, harsh realities, quote unquote, getting serious about a serious topic, about a serious process. And I see women on social media. I've watched a couple of influencers go through the divorce process, and I am fascinated by people who are outside of my world, right? Because my clients have a different approach. I had a different approach to divorce, and the people in my immediate circle tend to have a more expansive approach around divorce. But when I watch people out in the wild, so to speak, doing divorce, I am struck by what gets emphasized and the thought errors we have around it that are costing us so many resources. So I talk about this inside my membership, but I'll tell you that the 4 resources that are sucked up by the process of getting divorced, the resources that you are in charge of investing in your life and choosing where you invest them are your time, your attention, energy, money, and then there's lost opportunity costs, which is the hidden resource that nobody really talks about very much. And in an effort to, quote, do divorce right in a complicated legal system where every divorce truly is like a snowflake in the sense that they're all unique. So you can't possibly have one set of rules that just applies blanket, across every single set of circumstances. That would be impossible. So we create really complicated systems and rules to help people do this process and, quote, do it right. And I watch influencers attempt to do divorce the right way by getting the right or most fair financial agreement, and in some cases not being able to settle that or negotiate it and having to go to trial. And then also obsessively trying to create parenting plans that go out, through college and cover every possible conceivable iteration and contingency, which, by the way, can never be. You can never cover everything preemptively in a settlement or a custody plan because there are infinite possibilities. We don't know what's going to happen. And there's so much lost opportunity costs in that when you are delaying the post-divorce transition by sometimes years, because there's time there that would otherwise be spent building that is instead being spent going through the ashes of something that's been deconstructed, burned down, if you want to be very hyperbolic and dramatic about it. And sometimes that's unavoidable. Sometimes there are just, two people just can't agree on something that feels reasonable or agreeable to either of them. But I would venture to guess, after working with hundreds of women, that is the exception, not the rule. And almost always when we get mired in the system of the legal divorce and we cost ourselves money and time and resources and lost opportunity costs, meaning we're delaying our future and we're under earning and we're depleted energetically. For what? What exactly? For the perfect settlement? It doesn't for future security, to minimize conflict in the future. I think it's important to question all of that because there is no such thing as a settlement or support payment plan or a custody plan that negates the negative emotion you have to feel when it's done and implemented. It doesn't exist. The safety and security that we want the legal system to create doesn't come from the legal system. It has to come from inside of us. And I don't have direct experience working with women who are having that type of journey through the legal process because I have such a different approach to it. But I would be curious to know on the other side of it, from what I can tell, it still feels shitty. It still doesn't feel good. That post-divorce transition period is almost as intense as the actual divorce process itself. And I just wonder if you believed that your dream life, your vision for your future was inevitable. If you knew that, If you knew that as soon as you were divorced, you were going to stop under earning and you were going to begin building wealth and an income that would give you the kind of agency that you want in your life, if you could separate out where you're afraid for your kids and trying to overfunction for them in their relationship with their co-parent instead of realizing that hanging on to what is actually preventing you from getting what you want most. There's a lot of coach speak in there, so we can unpack it more. But when we're doing that, when we're outsourcing and trying to control the process through this overcomplicated journey through the legal system, sometimes we are delaying the thing we want most for thinking we're going to get a sense of security and success and safety from the outcome of the legal process if we can just do it right. And I will tell you that I have seen this over and over again. As soon as you surrender the need to get the legal process right, to get the parenting plan exactly right, it opens up your reality to infinite possibilities that you can't possibly conceive of right now. It opens you up to receive magic. It opens you up to more of what you want faster. And I really want to say that in the work that I do, more often than not, the legal process is almost irrelevant, except that it is a placeholder for the personal growth that you are meant to go through in order to become the person who can have what she wants. Your desire, your vision for your life is sacred. And in order to have the self-leadership capacity and the courage and the belief in yourself, we have to sometimes walk through fire in the transition period. And the legal process is a fantastic placeholder for that. And it's not more virtuous to get divorced faster. Sometimes you'll hear me talk about, I got divorced in 6 months. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to go slow. I wanted to take our time. And that just wasn't going to be available to me. So I had to figure out how to see a faster one as advantageous in different ways. And it's interesting to me that people hear me say that and they think I'm virtue signaling like the faster divorce is better. That's not what I'm saying. The divorce you have is perfect. And it actually doesn't matter how long it takes. It matters how you show up in it. Are you trying to do it right? Are you really stuck on what's fair and not fair within the context of what the best legal outcome would be? Because the best legal outcome is often not the best outcome in the context of your vision and what you want for your life. Sometimes those things are not aligned. I've had clients choose to walk away from money. I've had clients compromise on time-sharing plans, knowing that whatever time-sharing plan was put in place that they didn't necessarily love was going to change because they're the expert in their lives and they could see how things were going to play out. There's so much room here. My point is there's so much room here for your intuition and your expertise in your own life and in your family and in your vision and what you want for your future and what you know you're capable of that would be a much better point of reference for you than the best legal outcome or what the experts say you should do or what's the most fair division financially for you to agree to. And I really would invite you to get creative about moving through the legal process if you're still in it. And if you're if you're in it and feeling frustrated and backed into a corner, like it's just taking so long and your ex just can't agree to it, to agree to any, or you it's not that your ex isn't agreeing, but you all can't agree on how to settle it or where to go next, and it looks like it's headed to trial or into litigation, and you don't love it. Your job is not actually to fix that. Your job is to figure out how to rise above it and get a bird's eye view of it and decide how you want to show up in it without it being at your own expense. It is not to fight to the bitter end, no matter what, for the best legal outcome. Oh, are you picking up what I'm putting down? And I think it gets more complicated when we have a massive industry that's growing. And listen, I'm part of it. I'm not lost on that. That's not lost on me. That I'm part of that, right? We have a massive industry that is making a lot of money and getting a lot of attention, and people are expanding, or the amount of money spent by someone, any one person in divorce, is growing because there are more resources to help them. I just want to encourage you to be very particular about what resources you choose to use, because nobody wants to just do divorce right for the sake of doing it right. I think I've talked about this ad nauseum so far on this podcast, so I'm not going to belabor the point again. But your divorce is the doorway you're walking through. It's the setup for wild success. It's not the destination. It's not the end of the story. It's a plot twist. It's a turning point, and what it means for your life and how you handle that plot twist is up to you. So there's a ton of resources around divorce recovery. Okay. I love the statistic. For every 5 years you were married, you need 1 year of recovery. What? I mean, I get this. I get the point of that. But when I let that land in my nervous system, I just feel freaking depressed. Okay, so what I sense when I hear that is, if I was married for 15 years, then I have 3 years just to get back to what? Recovered? Neutral? It's permission, and it's so seductive because it's permission to stay small. It's permission to put off being the most powerful person in your life. It's permission to avoid the discomfort of growth that's available to you that will create the life of your dreams. And what I have found over and over and over again, not just in my own life, but also with my clients, is that the most healing, supportive, magical thing you can do for your nervous system, for your health, for your mental health, for your kids, is to go after and create positive outcomes that align with your vision of your life, because they're going to be different for everybody, as quickly as possible, with as little suffering and as little efforting as possible. Meaning, I would like for you to wonder how you can become more magnetic to the thing you want the most through your divorce process and beyond. That sounds fun to me. More fun than you really need to focus on getting the most fair legal outcome, and then you're going to need at 3 to 5 years to recover, and then you'll probably maybe get back to normal life. Okay, really? I don't want to get back to normal life. What does that even mean? I want every fucking upgrade I can get my hands on. Every single one of them. From how I create results through maybe joy and pleasure and rest instead of over functioning, exhaustion, and hard work. I would like to make $1 million in a year just because I want to. I would like 3 thriving kids. I would like to feel strong and sexy in my clothes. I want all of it. I want all of it. I don't need it all right now, but it's all going on the vision board. And I don't want to wait 3 years plus the divorce time to get it. What? That's insanity to me. Why not use what you're experiencing right now, even if you are years out from your divorce? Why not use what you're experiencing right now to propel you, catapult you forward, to quantum leap into a new reality sooner? That's what I want for you. So, a couple of things. You got to know what it is you want. And then you have to be willing to think about where you are right now through a different lens. If you're still getting divorced, or maybe you're at the beginning of the process, it's up to you to decide that what's important to you is who you are in this process and how much self-trust you can create for yourself, perhaps having not trusted yourself in a long time. How much can you lean on that in order, and how much courage can you muster in order to move through this process in a way that is aligned with your values and your integrity and your morals and who you want to be, but that doesn't get mired in scarcity, lack, fear, and trying to be perfectionistic about it, or get it right. That's the question. And it's a way more interesting question than, oh my God, can I possibly give him all the furniture? What? Like, take it. Take it. I don't care about the furniture. I care about you. I care about your vision and your future. I'm not saying give away your furniture. I'm just saying sometimes our brains get stuck on these things that in 10 years won't matter, but that delay the arrival of something so magical. And we have to be aware that the divorce industry is a money-making industry, and it by necessity benefits from complicated processes that get drawn out in perhaps a well-meaning intent of doing it right and doing it fairly, which I get, of course. Like, that is that's the job of the professionals and the systems we have in place. And it's not bad or wrong to choose to go that route, to buy into all of that, to decide that you're gonna go after that result. I'm not saying it's bad or wrong. I'm just saying let's decide with intention, because oftentimes the things we get hung up on are just based in fear and lack and not necessarily serving the greater vision for your life. And that's also to say that it just feels better to go through the legal process knowing that it's a class you're taking. But your whole grade, like, you're going to graduate regardless of how you do in the class. It's not the end all be all. I promise it's not. It's not the end all be all. And I mean, I kind of feel like I'm committing treason by saying that. First, as an attorney, and second, understanding that the general consensus around this is that it's very serious. And I'm not giving you legal advice. None of this is intended to be legal advice or mental health advice or financial advice. I'm just offering that you have a choice in how you look at the legal system. And if you want to feel like your life is your reality is quantum leaping, and it's accelerating so fast that your work is actually to regulate around success tolerance rather than disappointment tolerance, then I would encourage you to look at things a little bit differently. Not so that you can rush through the legal process, but so that you can accelerate your personal transformation that is going to open you up to receiving all the magic that you are worthy of and deserve and that's coming your way. That's the key. And how that impacts the legal process, we don't know. It's not really any of your business, but you don't have to feel like you're at the mercy of it. You don't have to hang your hat on it. You don't have to put all your eggs in that basket. You don't. You can decide that it feels irrelevant. And that will actually help you make stronger, more powerful decisions while you're navigating it. That is my take on this growing industry that I am a part of. And I'm all for, actually, the divorce industry being a $200 billion industry. But I would much prefer it to be growth-minded and growth-oriented and expansive and inviting us to step into more abundance through adversity, more wealth, more health, more love, more success that can trickle down and ripple out into the world, then I want to see it continue to get overcomplicated and about the industry of it all and how lucrative it is. That's not how we change it. It is not uncommon for me to finish work with a client and for her to decide that she wants to be a change agent in the divorce space. She wants to be an advocate, or she wants to volunteer. She wants to become a coach. She wants to help change the system because it's not perfect. Family court system is, it's kind of a beautiful circus. It's kind of the wild, wild west of the court systems. And a lot of times there is injustice happening because it's not the greatest system for the emotional complexities that it's often asked to deal with. And I will tell them all what I'm going to tell you now. The greatest, fastest way to create change in the divorce space for women coming up behind you is for you to live your best life. For you to get divorced and live your best life and to do what you want to do. And if some of that includes advocacy work in the divorce space, amazing, do that, but it doesn't have to. Just you bringing your energy to creating your best life and living that out as an example of what's possible absolutely creates a change and a ripple effect through the entire system. It has to. So you don't have to feel pressured to make a change, to be a change agent. Just you living through the lens of your desire, your vision, your integrity, self-trust, self-leadership is enough to create massive change and a massive ripple effect. And it starts with looking at the legal system and the post-divorce transition resources we have in place for women through a more discerning lens, I will say. Just be discerning. Do you want to recover for 5 years, or do you want to go live your best life now? Doesn't mean it's going to be easy right away, but at least then the hard part isn't just life sucking. At least the hard part then becomes part of this transition and transformation that's leading towards something amazing, not just this horrible period you survive to get to the point where you get to maybe start getting something that's fun and amazing. Okay? Okay. So, the legal process is not irrelevant, but also it kind of is. Emotionally, you've got to disengage from it and make choices from a place of self-empowerment and self-belief. Because if everybody in the process believed in that more abundance and love and healthy relationships with their children was inevitable on the other side, it would completely transform the entire industry overnight. Overnight, the legal process would almost cease, it would almost become a nothing because no one would be fighting over 401k. That would just be like, oh, we'll just split it because we're going to have more. More is coming. But when you can only look so far as the end of your divorce, you can't see that more is coming. You can't feel that more is coming. You can't believe more is coming. So bird's eye view all of this and be discerning. And join the membership because I'm going to teach you exactly how to turn your adversity, the emotional chaos that you're feeling, the fear, the scarcity, into tangible results in your life. Money, success, happy kids, your dream home, but also the important intangible things like waking up feeling at peace, loving yourself so that someone else can come along and love you too. Those are tangible and intangible results that are available to you, and they're available to you faster with less suffering and less hard work when you do this the way that I teach inside the membership. Okay, I love you all, and I will see you here next week. Bye. Thanks for listening to the So Good It Doesn't Make Sense podcast. If today's episode resonated, please take a minute and leave a review. It helps women find this work and change their lives and divorces too. For more support, be sure you follow me on Instagram at Megan Norris Coaching. That's where I share real-time strategy, perspective, and what it actually looks like day to day. And when you're ready to go deeper, join the Divorce Academy, my monthly membership for women navigating divorce with clarity, power, and community. I'll see you next week. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for legal, financial, or mental health advice. Please consult with licensed professionals as needed.